Tang Xin Hong. My metric number is 156954. I'm majoring in pure physics and I'm a first year student. My role in this video is as a scriptwriter.
Hi guys, my name is Jun Ming. I'm year 1 pure physics student from School of Physics and I'm the editor of this video.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel. I'm a first year pure physics student from School of Physics and my role in this video is as a presenter. Do you know what is that and why it is related to our topic of today? It's something to do with our heart and it's pacemaker. I'm sure many of you wonder why we choose this for our topic. Isn't this pure biology and how does this relate to physics? Curious? Just watch our video till the end and we'll get the answer. Before that, do you know any eminent international leaders or celebrities who had pacemaker implantations? Let me tell you some. Great female philanthropist Mother Teresa and former American President Gerald Ford. I'm sure you heard about them before, but do you know both of them had pacemaker implantations? So what is pacemaker? It's a small medical device placed in the chest or abdomen to help control abnormal heart rhythms. It generates electric impulses to the heart that helps it beat at a normal pace. So who needs it? If you have a family member that has arrhythmia, a phenomenon where the heart beats too quickly, too slowly, or with an irregular pattern, you will come across it because a cardiologist will advise them to have a pacemaker implantation. Or if your family members are suffering from misfiring of CCS, illness in the SA node, heart blockage, or tachyarrhythmia, you will also come across it. If you haven't come across this, congrats that you and your families are healthy. If you come across this, you should also watch this so that you know more about pacemaker works and what's the physics behind it. Now, I'm going to talk about the inner workings of a natural pacemaker. Our heart is a muscular organ with 4 chambers. Blood collects in the heart to the atria before filling the ventricles. When the ventricle contracts, blood in the right ventricles is pumped to the lungs and the blood in the left is pumped to the rest of the body. The heart has a natural pacemaker. Do you know what it's called? It's a sinoatrial node or simply called as a SA node. This pacemaker controls the heart rate by precisely determining when the muscle of the atria and ventricle contract. The electrical signals produced by the SA node reaches the ventricles through a narrow pathway that includes the so-called AV node, bundle branches, and Purkinje's fiber. Taken together, these pathways are often referred to as the conduction system of the heart. Problem with a conduction system can result if the SA node malfunctions, causing the heartbeat too fast, too slow, or irregular. Until now, I believe most of you must think all of this until now is only related to biology. What's the physics behind it? If you pay attention to the previous part, you'll notice that I mentioned things like electrical signals and this must have something to do with physics. Be patient because I'm going to talk about brief pacemaker history before I talk about its physics concept. So in 1959, 2 doctors and 1 electric engineer developed a concept of an internal pacemaker run by a lithium battery, and this concept sets the stage for the pacemaker used today. Now, since it involved electrical engineers, we know that it must have something to do with electricity in physics. Since we are learning electricities and magnetism now, does anyone know which laws in electricities are used in pacemaker? Have you thought about the famous Ohm's law V equals to IR, which that can be further derived to R equals to V over I? I believe most of you can only think about this, and this is the fundamental principle of pacing that describes the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance. This is important because we use Ohm's law to find the amount of current in the pacemaker circuit. However, Boltzmann distribution law and Fick's law also plays an important role in functioning the heart pacemaker. Interested? Let's focus and pay attention to it. The first key concept used in pacemaker is voltage, which is going to be running in the battery to deliver the pull of the electric current needed to stimulate the heart. In the definition, voltage is the force that causes electron to move through a circuit. So we know many things in nature actually goes from a high to a low state. This is the same as it goes to voltage. The gradient of higher potential to low potential is going to push the electrons through the wire into the nodes that are going to stimulate the heart. In a pacemaker, voltage is often referred to as power amplitude. The pacemaker is basically a capacitor where electric charge is stored at a potential of about 90 millivolts. In other words, do you agree with me that the pacemaker is just an example of an RC circuit or resistant capacitor circuit? Voltage is applied by the battery over the two plates, resulting in an electric field. Positive charges will be collected on one plate while negative charges on the others. When the heart beats normally, the capacitor of the pacemaker does not change completely. However, when the heartbeat is low or skip a bit, the capacitor on the pacemaker will fully charge and release the stored energy through lead wires. This helps to put the heart back to normal speed, and the capacitor is actually charged in a parallel way, but they are released in series. So this means that the capacitive voltage multiplier is provided, so the capacitor releases more energy that is provided by the actual battery itself. Now, let's say the battery has like 2.5 volts, the capacitor will release like 2 times of the amount or even 5 times of the amount. So it's a pretty cool device for me. Does energy stored in the capacitor sound familiar to you? I believe the answer is yes, because we learned this before, and now knowing that this applies to a pacemaker must blow your mind. Heart actually acts as a resistor in the circuit, while the pacemaker acts as a capacitor, and the voltage source is the battery itself. Resistor, capacitor, and voltage sound familiar too? This is just a simple circuit that we are learning right now. Can you relate this to what we have learned? As I mentioned earlier, while the heart is within the normal limit, the energy stored in the capacitor is not released. It is only released when the heartbeat is too slow. So during the discharge of the electrons collected on the negative plate, it will be forced off by the repulsion of the other electrons on the plate, and then the positive plate will attract electrons from the circuit to itself. Yeah, that's all for the physics concept behind it. Personally, I believe you might need some time to fully digest what I have mentioned, so I advise you to rewatch the video a few times. Last but not least, for patients who watch this video, I know your concern is to know the benefits and the risks of having pacemaker. By regulating the heart's rhythm, a pacemaker can often eliminate the symptom of bradycardia. This means individuals often have more energy and less shortness of breath. However, the pacemaker is not a cure. It will not prevent heart attack. The risk of having pacemaker implantation are patients will have limitations with respect to magnetic and electromagnetic field, electric or gas power appliances, and tools with which they are allowed to be in contact. In addition, the patient will also have a low risk of getting infections at the surgical site. Fear or not, if you are suffering from arrhythmia, a heart pacemaker is the only option for you if you want to live longer. Thanks to medical technology advancement today, it's quite safe to have pacemaker implantations. I hope this video helps you know more about the heart pacemaker and clear some of your doubts about that. If you're still deciding whether or not to go for an implantation, do drop by a nearby hospital and book an appointment with the cardiologist. Seeking expertise advice is a must, since our video just touched about the basic operations of a heart pacemaker and some simple physics concept behind it. Thank you!